Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. What a glorious day it is today, very cold, a little bit slippery on the road, but a nice day nonetheless. Too nice to not come out on the bike, or should I say bikes, because today's video is going to be all about a little conundrum I've got to resolve for myself, and that is, what is the sports bike that I should have? Because I've been riding this, the S1000RR, for the last month, and I've really loved riding the bike. But in my garage, I've only got room for one sports bike, and at the moment, the sports bike position is taken up by this, my beautiful Ducati Panigale, the 899 flavour. So in this video, I'm going to ride them both back to back, try and work out which one I should really go for. Well, stick around, stay tuned in this video, and see if we can decide. Okay, so the 899 Panigale then, what an absolutely beautiful machine this is. I've often said, it's always an occasion when you ride a Panigale, in fact any Ducati. The Panigale in particular, it's a beautiful bike to look at. I bought it, perhaps sadly, mostly because I just thought it was one of the most beautiful looking sports bikes I've ever seen. And that is still the case. I think it is still prettier than the S1000RR. There was this S1000RR, it's undoubtedly brilliant. It doesn't have that certain je ne sais quoi that the Ducati has. It is a beautiful bike and it looks lovely. It doesn't give you that specialness that you get on the Ducati. I don't know why that is, it's just how I feel. The other thing, it being a 4-cylinder bike, you do have to wind it up a lot more to get to the fun stuff. Hope you can see all right, it really is quite foggy out here now. So yes, you do have to wind it up to silly speeds to get the real performance out of this, and that's not really what you want to be doing on the road. But what this one does give you that you don't get on the Panigale is this incredible slow speed riding. Look, here I'm 4th gear, I'm only doing 30 down here, look, because I know there's a junction coming up, and the engine is not complaining, the bike is not lumpy in any way, it's smooth as you like still, whereas the Panigale would be complaining at that point. Oh, I bought this bike back in 2015 and I've ridden what? 3,000 miles on it, something like that. In other words, hardly anything at all. I've just ridden it around the back roads. I've done a couple of track days. I've never really done any long journeys on it, and it doesn't get ridden very often at all. Mostly it gets ridden for me to take it to be serviced or take it to have its MOT. So I do wonder whether I'm wasting having this bike in the garage. Now the reason I don't ride it very much is because it's a bit uncomfortable, frankly. All sports bikes are, some more than others though. The Panigale does feel quite cramped, and after half an hour on it I've really had enough. This bike, the S1000RR, has loads more electronics than the Panigale has. It's got lean angle sensitive ABS and traction control, anti-wheelie, launch control, all sorts of stuff on here. You can control how much it skids around the corners, all the sorts of stuff you need if you're on a track and you're shaving off tenths of seconds off your lap time. I'm not interested in that, I'm a road rider, so I don't really care about the electronics, so that's not a big factor in the decision for me. Just listen to the thing. Be a little bit careful because I don't know if there's any ice on these roads. And in reality, the S1000RR is a better bike in every way. It's more comfortable, it's more practical, it feels so much lighter, and it's a bike I'm likely to ride more. But to replace my Panigale with one of these would cost me about 12 grand. This being an 18-20 grand bike new, and I'll be able to sell my Panigale probably for about 8 grand second hand. So that's the question I have to ask myself. Is all this extra comfort and practicalness worth 12 grand? And would I miss that specialness that I get on the Panigale? Everything about the S1000RR is nice, it's beautifully made, there's nothing wrong with the fit and finish, all that sort of thing. But when you look at things like the yoke, which is nice as sports bikes go, it's not as nice. as the Panigale, that's got that lovely machined aluminium yoke. But then you feel how this handles on the corners. I think, you know what, this is the way to go. So flat as you're riding this bike. I mean, look, it's a slippery old day. I'm in rain mode, but you can still have fun around the corners. Yep, very much first world problems this. Much pondering required. So there you go, that's both these beautiful puppies ridden back to back. What conclusions have I actually come to? Well, the thing is, the Panigale, I've always loved the looks of the Panigale. I think it's the most beautiful bike I've ever seen, certainly one of them. And I love the sound of it, the V2 as well. The grunt of the V2 low down makes a lot of sense on the road. There's a lot of power on this one as soon as you start to wind the throttle open, whereas the S1000RR, bit gutless low down, you have to really thrash it to get the most out of it, and then you're going at daft speeds. Really, it's best for the track in that respect. That said, the comfort on this thing, the practicality, you could go touring on this. I'm, you know, much more likely to ride this bike than I am the Panigale, which I just like to look at, frankly. So, yeah, very difficult one. First world problem, I know. I'm not expecting any sympathy here, but I think I'm just going to have to ponder it a bit more. I would definitely ride the S1000RR more if I had it, but I think I might just miss the specialness of the Ducati. I really don't know. So, yeah, and then I've got to think about, is the S1000RR actually worth that 12 grand difference when you do the maths between, you know, selling this, buying a new one of these? Is it actually worth that 12 grand? I don't know. Or indeed, should I have a sports bike at all? Should I sell the Panigale and get myself that Street Fighter I keep lusting after? I don't know. These are the problems us bikers have to put up with, aren't we? Well, I need to just sort of decide, really, I guess, first, whether I've got a space at all in the garage for a sports bike. But anyway, either way, it's going to be one of these bikes. I mean, I love the Panigale. I've had that 7 years, as I say. I'll probably end up keeping it. I don't know. The S1000RR, beautiful bike. It's the bike to have. If I was starting again, I'd buy the S1000RR. It's definitely got a place in my sort of dream garage of the future. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Anything I've missed, anything that I've glossed over that you think I should be considering, and see if you can help make my mind up. So sorry it's a bit inconclusive, but you probably knew it was going to be like that anyway. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little video. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. It would be great to have you along. I don't just do bike reviews and things like this here on the channel, but I do bits and pieces here on the garage on how to look after your bike. I do trips and tours at home and abroad. I do the occasional live stream. I do monthly bike news. Basically anything and everything to do with motorcycles. I'll try and cover it here on the Missing and Flyer. It would be great to have you along. All right, till next time, this has been the Missing and Flyer. Cheerio.